Hi kids, it's Mrs. Bishop from room 123. I have some cool stuff to share with you today, and I'm so glad to be able to be here and have you watch. I want to tell you something that I think is really important for you guys to remember. And I'm going to do it with a little object lesson. That just means I'm going to use some objects to help you learn a lesson or to remember something that's very important for you to remember. Now, if we were in school, I would have done this in our classroom. But because we have been out for a while, I'm just going to do it for you right now. So I have 2 eggs. These eggs, pretty much the same size. They feel the same, but there's a difference. This one and this one, they're not the same color, are they? This one is brown, light brown. This one is white. Just like people, because they're all different colors of people. I've never really seen a person that was this white. Usually we're peachy colored. And I've seen people who are light brown and darker brown and really dark brown. But I want to show you something that's really important. So while I crack these 2 eggs, I don't want you to look, okay? So look above my head or something for a second. All right, I've cracked them. They're in the bowl. I'm going to wipe my hands real quick because you should always clean your hands if you touch eggs because there's germs. Now, look in the bowl. We have the 2 eggshells. We have the brown eggshell. We have the white eggshell. But now, the really important thing. Look in this bowl. Can you tell the difference? Do you know which one was the brown egg and which one was the white egg? I can't tell. I don't really think there's a difference on what was on the inside of these 2 eggs. There's yolk and there's the runny stuff. Okay? So to me, they look the same. Even though they look different on the outside, on the inside, they're the same. It's just like people. So even if we look different on the outside, our insides are the same. We all have blood in our bodies. We have a heart and we have lungs and we have different things inside us that help our bodies work and to make us strong. So I want you to remember that just because you or anybody that you know may look different from you doesn't mean they're any less special. We're all special people and we should be kind and love everyone. Now I have a book I want to read for you. Now this book, I like to read it at the end of the year because I think usually at the end of the year you guys are old enough to kind of understand what they're talking about in this book. It's called The Paper Bag Princess, and it's a really good story, and I want to ask you about the lesson that's inside the book to see if you get it when we're done. The Paper Bag Princess is written by Robert Munch, and the illustrator, or the person who drew the pictures, is Michael Marchenko. So if you see on the front, there's a big dragon, and then here's the princess right here, and look what she's wearing. She's wearing a paper sack. Let's find out why. Make sure I get on the right page. There we go. All right. Elizabeth was a beautiful princess. She lived in a castle and she had expensive princess clothes. Expensive means it cost a lot of money. She was going to marry a prince and his name was Ronald. You see her beautiful dress here? And then there's Ronald, and they're going to get married. Unfortunately, a dragon smashed Elizabeth's castle, burned all her clothes with his fiery breath, and carried off Prince Ronald. Oh no, there goes Prince Ronald with the dragon, and poor Elizabeth doesn't have anything to wear. Elizabeth decided to chase the dragon and get Ronald back. She looked everywhere for something to wear, but the only thing she could find that was not burnt was a paper bag. So she put the paper bag on and she followed the dragon. He was easy to follow because he left a trail of burnt forest and horse's bones. Uh-oh, he's burning everything in his path. Finally, Elizabeth came to a cave with a large door that had a huge knocker on it. She took hold of the knocker and she banged on the door. The dragon stuck his nose out of the door and said, "Well, a princess. I love to eat princesses, but I have already eaten a whole castle today. I'm very busy. So come back tomorrow." He slammed the door so fast that Elizabeth almost got her nose caught. Elizabeth grabbed the knocker and banged on the door again. The dragon stuck his nose out of the door and said, "Go away. I love to eat princesses, but I've already eaten a whole castle today. I'm a very busy dragon. Come back tomorrow." "Wait!" shouted Elizabeth. "Is it true that you're the smartest and the fiercest dragon in the whole world?" "Yes," said the dragon, "I am." Ooh, do you think Elizabeth is using her smarts to outsmart the dragon? "Is it true," said Elizabeth, "that you can burn up 10 forests with your fiery breath?" "Oh, yes," said the dragon, and he took a huge deep breath and he breathed out so much fire that he burnt up 50 forests. "Fantastic," said Elizabeth. And the dragon took another huge breath and he breathed out so much fire, he burned up 100 forests. "Magnificent," said Elizabeth. And the dragon took another huge breath. But this time, nothing came out. The dragon didn't even have enough fire left to cook a meatball. Uh-oh, so you see what happened? Elizabeth told him he was magnificent and wonderful, and he was showing off the wonderful things he could do with his fiery breath, and now it's all gone. I wonder what's going to happen. Elizabeth said, "Dragon, is it true that you can fly around the world in just 10 seconds?" "Why, yes," said the dragon, and he jumped up and he flew all the way around the world in just 10 seconds. He was very tired, but when he got back, Elizabeth shouted, "Fantastic! Do it again!" Elizabeth's a very smart princess. So the dragon jumped up and he flew around the whole world in just 20 seconds. When he got back, he was too tired to talk, and he lay down and he went straight to sleep. So now she's convinced him to fly around the world twice and to blow out all his fiery breath. So he's a tired dragon and a dragon with no fire. Elizabeth whispered very softly, "Hey, dragon." The dragon didn't move. She lifted up the dragon's ear and put her head right inside. She shouted as loud as she could, "Hey, dragon!" The dragon was so tired he didn't move. You see who I see up here in the castle? It's Ronald in the cave, Prince Ronald. Elizabeth walked right over to the dragon and opened the door to the cave. There was Prince Ronald. He looked at her and said, "Elizabeth, you are a mess. You smell like ashes, your hair is all tangled, and you're wearing a dirty old paper sack. Come back when you're dressed like a real princess." Uh-oh. Was that a good thing that Ronald did? After all, Elizabeth went to a lot of trouble to save him. She was brave, and she went to the dragon, and she convinced the dragon to blow out all his fiery breath, and she convinced him to tire himself out flying around the world. Then she goes to save Ronald, and all he can do is look at her dirty clothes and her dirty face and say she smells bad? Not a good choice, Ronald. "Ronald," said Elizabeth, "your clothes are really pretty, and your hair is very neat. You look like a real prince. But you know what? You are a bum." They didn't get married after all. The end. So why do you think Elizabeth didn't decide to marry Ronald? Was he a very nice person? No, I don't think he was either, because all he cared about was whether or not she looked pretty, or whether or not she had nice clothes, or whether or not she smelled good. He didn't care about what was on the inside of Elizabeth that made her special. He didn't care that she was kind and brave and wanted to rescue him. So he didn't care about any of that stuff, which is very important. So remember, guys, that no matter what kind of clothes you have, or what kind of hair you have, or what kind of skin color you have, whatever you have, you are special and you are important. So never ever forget that, okay? And read this book sometime. It's really cool. All right, until next time, bye.